Hey, what's up, bench riders? How y'all doing today? It is your boy GQ, and we are live, and we are back with Live from the Bench.
Woo.
I'm joined here today with the one and the only Boulevard.
Baddest mofo on the planet.
That's what he says. Oh man, listen. One thing we promised that we is always going to give you guys some good content whenever we put it out. Well, we put a lot of content out and we were very unbiased for a long time. But I think right now was the perfect time, better is just as good as any time to talk about our home team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
The Eagles just put out, they just revealed, well, first they were leaked, but they revealed the new Kelly Green jerseys, and we were waiting for them. We got memed, we got trolled by the Eagles Twitter admin. Their marketing admin trolled the hell out of us for a very long time.
They
did not like us. They wanted to make us wait. They wanted to make fun of us. They were laughing at us and at NovaCare. They were laughing at us. But that's okay because we got the jerseys. And I just want to sit here and just tell you this right now. In my personal opinion, I think these should be the new mains. Like, get rid of the midnight green. I don't want to see the midnight green anymore. I love these Kelly Greens. They need to be the permanent jerseys. I think these are the best looking jerseys in the NFL, hands down. I'm not even talking from an unbiased. Those jerseys are just beautiful. Just everything about them.
They are. I mean, look at them. Just look at them in all their gloriousness.
Yes. Can we look at these jerseys?
We can look at them in all their beauty.
I'm sorry that you guys on Spotify, you don't get to see it, but I'm sure you can Google it. They're out there. You can see it if you're watching the content. But just the jersey, just the brightness of the green, and then the trim on the numbers. I'm a big fan of the block numbers. I love the block numbers on jerseys, and then you got the sleek gray with the stripes, everything about it. It just looks so vibrant, and it's just like I remember years ago when the Eagles had Chip Kelly as their coach, like they had the whole speed. But literally, this looks better when it comes to speed. Like the whole blur, you can watch that Kelly Green run past you.
It just makes me miss Randall Cunningham so bad.
Kelly Green is this combination should have been back for a long time now. They've been wanting it back for a long time. We don't need the midnight green. I personally think we should get rid of it. Just looking at Jalen Hurts in this jersey, looking at Devontae Smith. I saw Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Devontae Maddox, Goddard. You're just seeing these different jerseys, and I'm just like, man, I cannot wait to see them this season. It sucks that you're only going to see them, what was it, week 7 and week 12, I believe. So we're only going to see them twice this year. But I think if they sell enough, we might see these again next year.
You know what's wild? Midnight green, it ain't even green. It's cyan and blue mix.
Yeah, I don't like the midnight green. I think we should drop it, get rid of it.
I never liked it.
I don't like the new Eagles jerseys. I'm not a fan of the font. I don't like the font, the Eagles font that they use.
Is ugly.
Yeah, I don't like the number font. I don't like those at all. I just hate the way the numbers look. I would love to see the Eagles go back to a block numbering. I would love to see these color green.
The Eagles that's right here on the chest, and on the field in the end zone. I hate that.
You mean the old one or the newer one?
The newest one, the more recent one.
I actually don't mind the new Eagles, but I think I would love to see the old school Eagles logo, the old school Eagles text logo come back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking it's time. I think we all go back to that place where it's like throwback. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find the old Philadelphia Eagles because it fits. You know, it fits with what we're with the Eagles right now. We're going back to the Kelly Green, bring it back.
Gorgeous.
If I want to see the new Eagles. I want to see the Eagles bring back this text, this logo.
Let me do.
I would love to see this logo.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
love to see this back.
Oh,
Give me this. This is just. I mean, you can modernize it a little bit, like give it a little bit of trim, retouch it up. But
was that
I'd
the
love to see
80s,
this.
70s? Was that 70s, 80s? My
Uh,
childhood?
yeah, definitely your childhood because it wasn't
Oh,
mine. I wasn't around, and I'm glad I wasn't.
nah,
But
you was a baby for the best Eagles teams.
but I think
So,
what I'd like to see on the helmet, I like the new Eagles wing. I think you keep it like that, make it fit the Kelly green. I want to see that new. I love the wing.
yeah.
That's probably the only thing about the Eagles uniform that I like now. The wing. Give me a Kelly green jersey with the current Eagles wing. There's no problem with touching up the Kelly green eagle. Touch it up a little bit, but don't mess it up. I, we cooking with Crisco if you do that. We do not need the
Mm-hmm.
Eagles green. And then you take this Kelly green jersey and give you a nice little alternate in black. Hoo, hoo, hoo. That
Yes.
that's yes. The Eagles will be doing something. And I'd love to see some Kelly green pants show up somewhere.
Ooh.
Some Kelly green pants. Mm.
Ooh, the Kelly Greens with the black jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
Yes.
Yeah, just make the pants Kelly Green from here on out. Make the
Now,
black, yeah, make the black ones the alternates.
yeah, that's what I would like to see. Just just have a black like with the style of the current with the style of the Kelly green. Give that and then make a black version of the Kelly green jerseys now,
Mm.
and just do that with the black with the block number. Oh my gosh! Listen, I don't know who I'm supposed to be talking to about that, but make it happen, Jeff Lurie.
Right.
I will listen. I bought this jersey because I was going to a game with a girl, and I'm a big fan of Michael Vick. So, I had to get me a Michael Vick Eagles jersey. It's like
Of
he was
course.
my favorite quarterback. Michael Vick was my favorite quarterback coming up, my favorite quarterback.
As it should
Um,
be.
so when Michael Vick came to Philadelphia, I was in my mind, I'm like, when is the next time I'm going to see Michael Vick? Like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Michael Vick is an Eagle. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's like if Ray Lewis came to the Eagles, I would have got a Ray Lewis jersey.
Ooh. Yeah, I'd
So,
have got his jersey.
like,
I'm not really one to get jerseys that often because players
mm-hmm.
with free agency ain't even no need. They'll be gone in 2 years. But I would have got it. I would have got that Eagles Ray Lewis
Yes.
if that were ever a possibility. I mean, I want to get my hands on a Reggie White. I really do. That's my dream to find me a throwback Reggie White jersey. Well,
It's I think we're getting to that point where we're going to start decorating it. Like once we relocate my current operation, I'm going to be looking for some different color foam to make my room look more eagle centric.
hey, at least you
But
got a whole space for it. I'm using my
yeah,
dining room table.
listen, this is actually the dining room. I mean, this was the dining room. My wife said, "You need a space. We eat in the kitchen already as it is
Right,
because the kitchen's big enough. We got a table in the kitchen. There was no point of this, so we use this here."
right. I was
Uh,
just looking for the best background view. Damn.
yeah. But moving on, as interesting as lovely as it is to talk about the Kelly
It
Green
is
jerseys,
beautiful.
which we are going to get some. I'm going to get some jerseys to put up. Um, I want to touch on the Eagles training camp is going on, and
Yeah.
it looks amazing. Uh,
Paper
you saw
champs. Woo!
you seeing some names. Who was it? Makai Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking good. Who's this receiver we were talking about earlier?
Oh shoot. Deion Kane and
Deion
the
Kane's looking good.
yeah. It's like I've heard Zacchaeus is sliding down the depth chart. Like the players are earning their spots. They're out there busting their butts to get where they're going. But it's because to me it's because Chip not Chip Sirianni got in a case. I mean, he screamed him down for fumbling in practice. You can't be doing that. I'm going to try to find that quote because that quote was glorious. Give me one minimal. All right. All right. All right. Quote, it's got to be perfect now because if it ain't bleeping perfect now, then it ain't going to be perfect when we get in the bleeping game. Get it perfect. I like this guy.
Yeah, I love it. Something about Nick Sirianni last season,
Mm-hmm.
it was like it was like a blink and you miss it moment where he was walking down. It was like he was walking down like he was on the sideline, and I remember him turning around. He said, I don't remember. All I remember him saying was, "I know what the f I'm doing,"
Right?
and I don't know who he was talking to, but that's a head coach for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like because you get some people they step out of their lane and they try to tell you like you try to tell somebody like, hey, maybe we should do this. Nick Sirianni was like, I know what the f I'm doing, and I think as a head coach, sometimes you get head coaches that they may be making bonehead calls, but and I think in that situation he may have been making he may have called a bad play in some people's opinion, but him to step up and say, I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's owning up to him saying like he's not going to turn around and be like, well, that was Steiking's fault.
Right.
No, he seems like the guy to say, I made that call. That's on me, and that's why I like Sirianni. And then
Only
Sirianni,
difference between
he's
a good play and a bad play is if it works or not.
mm-hmm,
All plays got the potential to be bad plays.
yes, and that's one thing I like about Sirianni. Sirianni's a fan of this
Yeah.
team. He's a fan of it. He comes up like nobody on this team is going to sit here and think that they don't have the support because they have it. And
Right.
I'm excited, and I'm looking at these rookies, looking at these rookies that have been playing, and I'm very excited, very happy to see how a lot of them are progressing in their career. Like Jadon
Mm-hmm.
Hazelwood. He's a good. He's like a big guy, but he's performing, and it's just like he's good. He's like he's stretching. He's making those stretches, those stretch catches.
All right.
I am really excited to see it. It's just like you're not getting one of those receivers who's like because you remember those days you get training camp and you get those guys like I remember Billy McMullen, I think it was his name.
Yeah.
You get those training camp receivers that look like they could be something, but they're like really like Billy McMullen. He was a big receiver, so basically he was shielding his body. He would shield the ball away from defenders and make those catches, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is a good thing. But that was basically all he was there to do. That's all he could do.
Right.
But you look at Jadon Hazelwood, he's a big receiver. He's Jadon Hazelwood, he's a big receiver and he's fast.
Right.
But here's the thing, 6'2", 216, he's stretching out making catches. He's like creating separation. He's not one of those receivers that's coming out there and he's not looking like he's uncoachable. He's performing. He's running the routes and he's playing like he wants to be there. And that's a
Right.
big thing because you look at the receivers on this team. You have Greg Ward on this team. You have
Still.
Olamide. Like players that need to step it up to prove that they belong on his team.
Yes.
Greg Ward, Greg Ward, Britton Covey, if you guys want to be here anymore, you got to step it up. Olamide, you have to step it up because basically what's been showing up on in camp is that you aren't doing what we want to see. Um, like you haven't showed out. Like and the reason the reason Olamide came in was because they felt like Quez Watkins needed some type of he needed
A
that kick in the
push.
butt,
Yeah.
and Quez Watkins came out there and he was like, why was WR3 is mine. So that's because Coach Watson came out there.
It's
And
only
then,
yours if you make it yours.
yeah, so Olamide was basically, I'm coming in to compete for wide receiver 4. And
Mm-hmm.
then you got this rookie, Joseph Nada,
That's
who
the one you were
came in
talking about.
Joseph Nada, 6'3", 270. He came in here and he's torching. He's torching, and he's got the same body frame as AJ Brown. He's coming in here torching defenders, and they're saying he's looking better than Olamide. So
Mm.
at this point, Olamide basically, is this rookie going to beat you out? Are you going to let Jadon Hazelwood beat you out? Are you going to let Greg Ward or Britton Covey beat you out? Because here's the thing about Olamide. Olamide is a very, very small receiver. He's 5'8". He's about
Where was he
5'8",
last
200.
year? Giants?
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
A team
And
that's desperate.
yeah. So at this point, yeah, he's got an uphill battle, but it's just good to see. Like I'm a fan of seeing when rookies come into camp and they actually put that work in. You see something, you're like, oh, it's exciting to see.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Brown in camp is looking like he's gonna come back and do the same thing he did last year, and the same with Devontae Smith. They're looking like they're gonna go back and get double 100,000 yard years again. So
Oh,
I'm
man.
excited about that.
Yes.
Uh, Jalen Hurts is he's just as comfortable as ever. He's not throwing interceptions. He's just throwing good passes, and he's improving. And I think moving Brian Johnson, the offensive coordinator, might have been. I mean, because sometimes when you move the position coach that was developing on a player to offensive coordinator, he doesn't get to focus that much on that player anymore.
Right.
But it doesn't look like that's a problem now. Brian Johnson is still developing Jalen Hurts, and now as the offensive coordinator, he's doing the best that he can to put Jalen in a position, calling the plays. Like he's going to be calling the plays that best benefit him, and I think that's really good for an offensive coordinator. So that's exciting to see. Also, Sidney Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've heard about Reed Blankenship before we get into Sidney Brown, what I've heard
Yeah.
about Reed Blankenship, he was expected to be the starter, and when the season started, he was listed as guy. We already know Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, Trey Edmonds.
Tremaine.
He's gonna
Is it
be.
Trey or Tremaine?
I don't know. I know there is a Tremaine. I don't know the difference. One's
One's
Buffalo.
one's a
Well, he's not a
linebacker.
Buffalo. He's
One's in the secondary.
Chicago. Yeah, the safety brother.
Okay.
He's in the Eagles, and I know he's gonna be the starter at strong safety. There's just no getting around that. He's probably the best safety on the team. That's not saying much. But he was supposed to be paired up with Reed Blankenship. Now Reed Blankenship is not really being standing out. He's doing a lot more on special teams in training camp than he is as a safety. So what we're
Right.
seeing a lot of is Sidney Brown, Kayvon Wallace, and these guys are actually performing well at the safety position. So I'm excited to see it. I'm all in on Sidney Brown. I want to see Sidney Brown win. I like Sidney Brown. He's a bit bigger at 5'10", 210 or 212.
Right.
He's a bigger safety, but I want to see how he develops at that safety position.
Kayvon's getting looks with the first team, though. Kayvon
Yes,
Wallace. He's getting looked at
Kayvon.
first team.
I feel like Kayvon Wallace it's his. He should be. He should have been the starting safety at this point.
Yeah,
If
should
he
have been
can't,
locked down.
yeah, if he can't secure that spot, I feel like he's probably on his way out of Philadelphia. And also that linebacking core. I mean, Nakobe Dean, he's been up and down all training camp, but he's looking like he's starting to get his bearings.
Right.
However, his supposed to be the guy that they brought in to be his partner on that second level.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Morrow is not looking like he knows how to cover anybody. He's struggling. Jordan
If he don't make the
Davis,
team, that's fine. I mean, we need depth, but if he ain't the guy, then we got to go find somebody else.
yeah. But that defensive line and those edges is just. I don't see how anybody's going to block them this year.
Right.
I see that 65-70 sack number right back to where it's going to be the same defense. It's going to be just
Yeah.
as scary and it won't really matter who's at safety. Like, it's not going to matter who's at safety this year because that defensive line, that pass rush is going to be impossible to evade.
Right. Just don't get burnt.
Yes. Another thing, it's probably something that we don't really need to talk about, but it's training camp. So Ty Zettner is looking like he's going to beat Aaron Sipas or whatever his name is out of a job. Sipas is going to be on the free agency list at punter. Me personally, I think we should have went after Marquette King or Matt Araiza. They would
Right.
have
I
been a
can't believe
better.
Marquette King is not in the league. That is just appalling. And it's all because of Gruden. And we know how Gruden rolled now. We've heard about the emails and everything and the communications and all the racist crap. It's like, come on, give that man a chance. That man, you tell me that man didn't earn a chance after he got cut by some apparently racist coach?
Right.
Get that man back in the league. He's clearly got the talent. He used to boot the crap out the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have him in my camp. I would have had him on my camp, but we wouldn't have even had Aaron Sipos.
Right.
It would have been
Exactly.
Marquette King from day one. The moment the Raiders dropped him because he had an attitude, I thought he just had a personality.
Yeah, that's what it was. He had a personality, and I
Yeah,
think that people
he
just
wasn't
don't
just a
expect your punter.
boring punter who just sat in his little cave to himself. No, this man he was a baller. He was out there to punt, but he was a footballer. He had the
Yeah, and
mentality of a football player.
yeah, and I don't understand why it's a problem for him to be that guy, a
It
punter that
wasn't.
dances because
It wasn't. It was
so
Gruden. Gruden had the problem. Gruden had
because
problems.
I got a feeling that anybody that Marquette came on the Eagles with that, if he came up playing doing that on Philadelphia, Sirianni would have welcomed that. I feel like
Yes.
Sirianni would have welcomed that. And
Like,
I don't know if you've ever like Sirianni plays music
mm-hmm.
at the at practice.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of coaches that don't believe in that.
That's ridiculous.
That don't play. There are a couple coaches in the league that don't play music.
You
I
need
think that's
music. Music should be playing at all times everywhere.
yes, that's disgusting to
Yeah.
not play.
It's like somewhere in my house, I know there's a radio on right now because there's always music on because there has to be music on. Otherwise, it's too quiet. And me,
There
if
are
it's too quiet, I get weird thoughts in my head, like bad thoughts, and we can't have that.
we have 5 Alexas in this house. We
Yeah,
have
y'all
one in
getting
my
spot
kitchen.
on.
Yeah, we have one in the kitchen right there. That's less than 15 feet away from me. There's one right over there in the living room. That's about 20 feet away from me. There's one right behind me. There's one in the bathroom and one in the kids' room. There's just we are all for. Sometimes they're synced. I don't know. Sometimes they sync. Sometimes they're not. Just feels like you're lucky.
Hey Alexa, play Dog-ish by ODB.
Oh Lord, please don't get us. Please don't do that. Alexa, stop.
Thursday.
Because,
But I
but
can't sing the lyrics on here.
I'm excited to see where the Eagles are going this year because they're just a different team, and I like the way, and I like what I've seen from Dak Prescott this offseason
Really?
in the training
Oh.
camp. I love seeing it. He's out there. He's throwing darts to the defense. It's
Ha!
just amazing.
Love it.
I love what I'm seeing. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's a product of the defense that he's throwing against. Maybe,
No,
but
it's him. It's him.
I hope he leads the team, the league in interceptions again. If he doesn't, good for him. I'm not going to sit here and say I dislike Dak. I don't dislike Dak.
I dislike Dak.
I dislike the team that Dak plays for.
I
I
dislike Dak. I
dislike
dislike his boss. I dislike his coaching staff. I dislike his running back. I dislike his receiving core. I dislike
well
his
that.
line. I don't like that
Well, I,
team. Like, even if I was not biased as I am, I'd still look at that roster and say, that's not a playoff team. I mean, they got some players. They got a lot of strong pieces. But, and the coach, no. There's nothing
that's
there.
their problem. Their
Yeah.
coach, the guy that should be their head coach, is coaching that defense right now.
Who's that?
Dan Quinn.
Oh. Yeah, he didn't do great as a head coach, though.
No,
Oh.
he didn't do great, but he did okay. He did enough.
Yeah. Was he the coach when Atlanta went to the Super Bowl and got
I think
busted
that
in the
was
second half?
No, I think that was Shanahan.
No. I mean, like 3-4 years ago, the Brady one,
What?
the comeback, 28-3.
28-3. I think that was Shanahan, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was Shanahan.
Huh? Okay.
28-3.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Well, it's kind of funny. I just got a text from YRB Noble, who was on the episode that we just had with about the Colts.
No, it was Dan Quinn.
It was Dan Quinn?
It was Dan Quinn.
So what was Shanahan had something to do with that? What did he? Was he like an offensive coordinator there?
Kyle the OC? Could have been.
I think he might have been the OC then.
Richard Smith coached the defense. Kyle Shanahan coached the offense. LaFleur was the head coach. Bobby Turner was the running backs coach. That's solid.
Oh, okay.
That's solid. Mike LaFleur and Mike McDaniel were offensive assistants. That's a solid coaching staff for all offense.
So Jim Irsay made a few comments regarding Jonathan Taylor.
Was he sober when he said it?
I think he wakes up high. He said that Taylor's not worth the money. He didn't earn it.
All right,
they don't
trade
need,
him. Trade him. He ain't playing for you now. After that, he ain't playing for y'all.
Done yet. I'm not done. He said he's a B. We don't need a B class running back. He said over his dead body. He said over his dead body, he's not gonna give him or anyone in the locker room the money unless they earn it.
He ain't earn it. I mean, what, 2 seasons ago he was the best running back in the league. Then you couldn't give him any help. You see, still he ain't have a quarterback pretty much until this year, which we're hoping Anthony Richardson is something.
So here's the thing about Jim Irsay. To work with. I actually liked Jim Irsay, even though I know he's a C head. I was a fan of Jim Irsay. I liked him, but now it's just like I think he's doing too much. Like, did Jim Irsay try ayahuasca during the off season? Because I've learned that people who take ayahuasca lose their mind. Some people say it opens you up and makes you enlightened. No, I think you lose your mind.
And I don't think there's a free agent with the Jets.
I don't think you get ayahuasca and become enlightened. I think just being open-minded, you become enlightened because you learn different things and different perspectives. I think if you need to go out and take a drug to become enlightened, that drug's just going to make you lose your damn mind. I know some people who have taken it, and when they came back, they're talking about things that are completely insane. So I mean, but we're going in a topic that has nothing to do with what we do. I've done
mushrooms a few times. I never had a bad experience.
Listen, I haven't. Let's just talk about how much of how boring GQ is. GQ has never done anything. I mean, I've drank
square. He's a square,
but I don't do anything. It's not for me. I'm kind of
straight edge.
I wouldn't necessarily say straight edge.
No, straight edge don't even drink. They don't even drink.
Yeah, I drink. I dabble in the drinky drink. I don't think I've ever been in a situation to indulge anything else.
Nah. Everybody know I smoke a lot of weed, but that's it. I don't drink. I don't do nothing else.
I don't do nothing now. I don't even drink no more because I got sick. But
Right.
so while we're here, let's talk about something. We're talking about our birds.
Yeah.
The birds. We saw the bird schedule. I want to know: are the Eagles? And I know as we see in the Eagles, as we see the Eagles move around through training camp, where what? Give me a record. Just tell me what you think the Eagles.
17 games. I'm gonna go with at worst 11-6. At worst.
Yee.
I mean, come on, they're going to dominate the NFC. There's only one other team that's really a challenge to them. That's San Fran. Nobody else can even challenge them.
I don't even think San Fran's a challenge. I
I
don't.
don't either. I mean, I'm just saying they're the only team with the talent on paper
In the
that can
NFC,
compete with them.
maybe.
But their QB is booty, so I don't think even they got a shot.
Yeah,
And that's whoever the QB is. They booty. So
I think the only team that honestly has, because it's Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid has the Eagles number.
yeah.
I think something happens to the Eagles when they look at Andy Reid. It's just like
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know what the record is. I mean, it's something I look up down the road. What the Eagles' record is against Andy Reid since he left Philadelphia. But I feel like Andy Reid has always had the upper hand against the Eagles. But it's
It does
just
seem that way.
I feel as though the Eagles are going to. I listen. 17 games. I got the Eagles going 15-2,
Oh,
14-3, 15-2. And I've seen I've seen someone who actually thought that the Eagles, like someone said that the Cowboys were going to sweep the Eagles, and I'm just like, when
what
I
do they?
when I hear stuff like that and I see stuff like that, I'm just like, why is it that the Eagles don't get the respect that they deserve?
Whoever
Like
said that
this
was
is
hitting that Ursay stuff. They was filling their nose with that Ursay. That's what that
because
is.
it's just crazy to me because
They was
and
in that
I'm speaking from an
ayahuasca.
unbiased. I'm speaking unbiased here. It's like look at that Eagles team and go match up for go position for position, go position by position,
Mm-hmm.
and tell me that there's a team out there that's 100% better than that. You're not going to find a team that's going to have more check marks on their roster when you go position by position. There's no
Right.
team that's going to have more check marks than the Eagles do.
Right.
There's nobody that's going to match up. You can match them up and 100% say this. You're not going to find a team that's going to. How many receivers in the league are you going to say better than AJ Brown? Not that many.
JJ,
Like
not.
not
I wouldn't say Diggs
yeah,
necessarily.
but so if you go, let's say like okay, you got a receiver, Jefferson, Justin Jefferson, definitely a better receiver than AJ Brown. I wouldn't say better receiver, but right now he's performing better than AJ Brown, which says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got the Vikings; they got that better receiver. Look across their roster. Anything else you could look at and say better than what the Eagles have,
No, Eagles got. I mean, the Vikings got one better receiver, and
and
they're
that's it. I don't
lesser at every other spot.
every
They're
other position.
all 53 other spots or 51 or whatever. They're lesser.
So you get so you gotta go keep going down and I'm just gonna sit there and like stay with AJ Brown. Go ahead to a team and find me somebody better. You could say D Hop, maybe. No, I
Mm-hmm.
won't say D Hop
We
right
don't know
now.
what D Hop got now at this
Yeah.
point.
Okay, we'll go and say Jamar Chase, maybe. I wouldn't say Jamar Chase, but
No.
let's just throw Jamar Chase in that category.
Okay.
Now look at
I'd
the
probably
Eagles.
say
The
he's
rest of
top
that,
five.
yeah. Let's go to the rest of the roster. Do they have a better roster than the Eagles do?
Nah.
No, not
Nah.
position by position.
Nah. There isn't a team
I,
with a better overall roster. No.
and now we compare the Eagles to the Cowboys. Do the Cowboys have a better roster? No, they don't.
No.
Is
Quarterback,
Michael
no.
Gallup
Running
better?
back, no. Wide receiver, no. Tight end, no. O line,
They don't even have a
no.
tight end.
D line, no. Linebacker, no. Cornerback, no.
They
They
have
have
a better
Diggs.
linebacker. They
Well,
got Micah
everybody's got a.
Parsons.
Yeah, but he's like
Everybody's got
he's
a
an end now,
better.
right? He's an end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd
So
say he's
still
better
no.
than our defense. Micah Parsons is a better defensive end of the Eagles have. He's better than
Yeah,
Sweat
but their
and
D
Graham.
line isn't better.
Yeah,
Like
but their
overall, they
defensive
have a
line.
better player. Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
just like they have Diggs, and Diggs might be better than our corners, but
Mm-hmm.
they still ain't no good. Like their
Yeah.
secondary is still
Across the
garbage.
board.
Yeah,
Across the board.
like,
There's no team that you if you go ahead and line up every position, you're not going to find a team in the league that's going to have more checks
no.
on their side than the Eagles do.
You'll definitely find
So
better
and
players on other teams at positions, but no, they're
yeah,
not
and
better.
and it's crazy to me because as people sit there and they can say they won't, they people just won't give the Eagles their respect. They won't give the Eagles their due, and it's insane to me because this is the team I mean, what it took for the Eagles to lose the Super Bowl is to not have any footing
Yeah,
for the field to be in such a condition that the Eagles could not pressure Mahomes. That was the problem. They did not get to put. They weren't touching Mahomes. He wasn't
also
sacked.
a DC that wasn't really paying attention to the game anymore.
Yeah, that's
He was
also that's
already looking
major,
past the game, which
and
was the
that's
Super Bowl.
which and honestly, I think for that the league should be like, hey, Gannon, you like I don't know. The league doesn't ban people out of the league anymore. I think things like that
No, you
because
gotta.
when stuff like that happens, you just make the game uncompetitive because you're not paying attention. Somebody he should be fined. Like the
Yeah,
Cardinals should
there
give
should
their
be
first
something
round pick
because
to
he clearly
Philadelphia.
was not paying attention to the game. He was not prepared.
He
Not,
made no
I mean,
adjustments.
they made the wrong. If they made any, they made the wrong ones in that second half. That and that holding call, which to me wasn't
What
really
hold?
holding. I've seen worse.
The
I,
crazy thing is, I heard I was watching something and what they said was DBs hold on every play.
yes, there's holding on
We
every
hold
single
on
play.
every
Oh,
play.
linemen,
Every single play, they just called it.
corners, yeah, every play.
But my thing is, why was that play? Why was that called? Why was the call where Bradbury held JJ Smith-Schuster? Why was it called? Because that ball, he wasn't going to catch that
He
pass.
wasn't going to catch it. No,
He
it was
was
still a
nowhere
bad
near
play.
that ball. So why was that called?
To help Mahomes be Mahomes. I
There's
mean,
an
that's what the
agenda.
script said. That's what the script says.
Yeah.
You know, they get their script every year.
So it falls into that category. It was just like look at the NFL and you say, if you don't want people to think that your game is rigged, don't do shit to make people think the game is rigged.
Oh, you cursed on YouTube. Oh
Oh
well.
well.
Up it.
What you're gonna do? Not make me monetized? I'm not eligible for monetization yet.
I
But
am money.
am I going to? It
Poop.
is what it is. We're gonna
Poop.
see how the rest of training camp goes. I'm excited for the Hall of Fame game. When is
Ooh,
that?
this
It's a
week,
couple
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hall of
So
Fame
let's get it.
game
It's probably
featuring
gonna suck.
who's in it? Oh, they
I think it's
always
the
do.
Cleveland Browns.
They got like a week
The
of
Cleveland
practice.
Browns.
Browns Jets. Oh boy, so get ready for hearing Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers till you get sick of them
They
like I did 5 years ago.
they better figure out the Dalvin Cook situation before that, because he ain't gonna play either way. So
No, he wasn't playing in that
Aaron
game.
Rodgers might not even play.
First preseason game.
Yeah, he ain't gonna step on the field.
That's the only one. Like what they play? It's the quarterback probably gets time in really 2 games in preseason.
Depending on who it is. I
Yeah,
don't
first
think
year
Jalen
with the
Hurts got
team.
any snaps.
Burrow didn't play all preseason last year.
Jalen didn't either.
I mean,
We
I
saw
definitely would have
Minshew.
Rodgers out there because he's just a new team, new receivers. They got to get used to him more than he got to get used to them. They got to get that timing down.
I don't want to see any of the Eagles quarterbacks except for Hurts. I don't like, and that's what's going to happen in the preseason. You're just going to see Mariota, and then the two guys that's going to get cut.
Mariota underthrowing everybody. Reed Sinnett throwing the ball at the dirt, throwing the ball into the dirt. just throwing it
I can't
hard
wait.
into the dirt.
I want to see how this new rule is gonna play out. I feel like it's gonna happen, and they're not gonna call it because it's a stupid ass call.
It really is. It really
Because
is a stupid call.
even if it's a like, I don't understand how it's an illegal forward. Even if it was the case, how would it be an illegal forward pass?
If it's a handoff, it's not a pass. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
So we're gonna see what happens.
between
NFL.
the way the second half went down and that holding call, and now they're changing the rules to screw up the Eagles. Yeah, there's probably something amiss in that script that's saying the Eagles can't do it, make our story better when we dominate everybody this year.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what's up. I'm good with that.
When we get that other Super Bowl, then we'll be like, hey, Dallas, what you doing? Because you ain't going back.
When Fletcher Cox steps on Pat Mahomes' face, rips his hair out, I'll be there applauding.
Well, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year, Brandon Graham and Fletcher retiring.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They wouldn't have any more reason to play except for the money. They got 2 rings.
It's just rings at this point.
I mean, I do wonder if Fletcher's a Hall of Famer at this point.
Absolutely.
I don't know that he has the numbers, though. I don't know what the numbers are. I know you used to be a lock if you got 100 sacks in your career. I don't really know how it works, though, anymore. But I used to guarantee you a spot. Like 10,000 yards as a running back used to give you a lock for the Hall of Fame. But it's not like that anymore. And by that standard, nobody's going to the Hall of Fame at running back anymore, except Frank Gore. He'll be the last one. There's ain't nobody hitting 10,000 yards anymore. They only get like 4 seasons to play full time. There will not be another quarterback hitting 10,000 yards in their career for a long time. It's wild.
You said it won't be another quarterback?
It won't be another running back that hits 10,000 yards rushing.
Oh, no.
Not for a long time.
I think the most you're going to see a cool running back get is 8,000 yards or 6,000 yards because the rate they're going, you're not even going to see anything.
Right, 8,000 yards makes you a Hall of Famer now. That means Zeke would be in, and he ain't done nothing. I mean, we know he was good in his prime, but he ain't do nothing. He led the league in rushing, but he ain't do nothing. That team ain't do nothing. He didn't carry them. He didn't. Yeah. They were still the same losers with him or without him. That's not a Hall of Famer, but he'll have the numbers. I mean, that's baloney to me. I wish when it was obvious, we knew who the stars were because the stars got the ball 30, 20, 25, 30 times a game. We don't want them to get that ball that much, but we still want bell cows.
Of course.
We still want a factor running back. Like we still want an AP. We still want a CJ2K. We still want those guys. We just don't want them to get those carries, that many carries in the season. But we still need those players. And they don't exist anymore. It's like there's a few that could probably push 300 carries, 300 touches, but there's only like 3. And they're not paying these players, so I'm sure it's just going to be a whole exodus of players sliding over to wide receiver or tight end or defense because they're not going to be playing running back anymore.
We already saw Antonio Gibson making that switch over. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jahmyr Gibbs just spoke out. He's like, "Yeah, I've been playing a lot of reps at receiver."
That's one of my secret picks for this year in fantasy. Which we should probably start prepping for that episode at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking last week, August, first week of September, we could drop that?
We could do that.
Yeah, I mean, get close to the season as possible so we ain't surprised by random injuries after we talk about it. Plus, that's when fantasy season really picks up, so they're going to need our information. They're going to need our expert opinions, I should say. Me as a multi-time fantasy champion and overlord of fantasy leagues everywhere.
Fletcher Cox, according to Pro Football Reference, Fletcher Cox has a 77% chance.
Okay. That's good. That's good numbers. That's good numbers.
And Ndamukong Suh, 84% chance of going to. Yeah. He has more sacks than Fletcher Cox.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just never thought of him as a Hall of Famer.
They both have more sacks than Cortez Kennedy. Who's
He's a Hall of
definitely a Hall of
Famer.
Famer.
Yeah. But he wasn't really a sack guy. He was just a run stuffer.
Well,
He got
Fletcher was
sacked.
definitely a run stuffer too.
Yeah. But I don't know how you weigh that position, that out. Like players who don't get sacks on the D line. I don't know how you figure out who's a Hall of Famer there.
Yeah.
I mean, in my eyes, yeah, my eye test says Fletcher's a Hall of Famer. But I'm also, my eyes are biased because I see that green jersey and I see this dude making Pro Bowls and clogging the middle. So yeah, he's a Hall of Famer to me. I just wasn't sure how the rest of them saw it. The people that handle that mess.
I think he's a Hall of Famer.
Hmm.
He's absolutely a Hall of Famer. In every which way possible, Fletcher's the guy that's going to be an Eagle Hall of Famer.
Yes.
He's going to join John Randall and Randy White. Is that Randy White? Reggie White. What?
Reggie
I thought
White.
it was
Randy
Reggie
White
White.
was a cowboy. It's
Ew.
Reggie.
Reggie!
The preacher. The Reverend.
Haloti Nada. 64% chance.
Haloti Nada's not a Hall of Famer.
No.
No. Goodness, no.
Who else? Let's see. Let's see if I can shock you.
Stump the idiot. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, I'm not going through that.
Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. We're starting to ramble a little bit, so we're going to go ahead.
That's what we do here.
Call it a night.
All right. Well,
It's been nice.
Wait, before we sign out, I just got to fill in a little bit of information here for our friends that are listening. I just wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to the Orioles because they've been at the bottom for so long. You know, they lost 108 games 4 years in a row. Yeah, that's terrible, right? But like sometime last season, they figured out how to win and started climbing and started battling. And, you know, as an outsider who's kind of not really an Orioles fan, but I'm interested because I got history with the team. I used to work at the stadium.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're at the top of this division now. They climbed all the way up. They're at 63 or 64 now in 41. They got a star catcher and a rookie pitcher that are just shutting it down out there. I mean, they opened the season with a 10% chance of making a postseason. It's 84% now. The sun is shining bright on Utah Street tonight. And before we sign out, one more thing. R.I.P. Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, you
said the magic word.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Live from the Bench. Please feel free to click one of hit the subscribe button, or is it over here? Subscribe, and then look at the other videos. I'm not sure. It's going to be somewhere here. And if you're on Spotify, listen, share. You know, do what you do.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
And until then, we'll see you again, guys. For now, take a seat on the bench.
Peace.